This is the Week in Sustainability from Sustain.Life. It's where our team of sustainability experts and practitioners share commentary to keep you up to date on developing stories and news. Hello, this is Alyssa Raid. Welcome back to the Week in Sustainability. So this week we are going to talk about NRF, the National Retail Federation's Big Show Conference. It was hosted in New York this past week, January 13th through 16th. And for those who are not familiar with the retail industry, this is retail's biggest technology-focused conference of the year. Now, Sustain.Life was in attendance, mostly focusing on their 360 Supply Chain Summit, where key themes really focused on the idea of minimizing risk and building resilience through ESG, leveraging technology to optimize operations and create efficiencies, a lot on AI predictive modeling to minimize supply chain disruptions, and deep engagement with supply chains to drive ESG efforts and, of course, decarbonization. So I think the big picture messaging that I took away from this conference is really best exemplified by FIRA, or the Federation of International Retail Associations. And in their executive meeting that took place at NRF, they voted sustainability as the number one concern/priority looking ahead for 2024. So that really speaks volumes because this is actually not a conference that's focused on sustainability. This is about retail as a sector, as an industry, and through its entire business. It's not specifically focused on sustainability. And the fact that these global leaders across big brands and retailers are so focused and concerned on sustainability really spoke volumes to me about the critical issues facing the industry. Top sessions that I would focus on, I think I must highlight Walmart session that was led by their EVP of Supply Chain Operations, David Gugina, as well as their SVP of Sustainability, Gene Ewing, who spoke about value creation through sustainable supply chains. And this was all about linking resilience and efficiency to improved product availability and quality, mitigation of risk, and improved opportunities for workers. It was a really powerful session. I did spend a lot of time on the expo floor. It is probably one of the biggest I've been at, three separate distinct levels of the Javits Center, New York City's largest convention center. And I'd say that my highlight here was actually several solutions that I saw, both from big players like IBM as well as some of the smaller ones that all focused on AI-driven predictive modeling for weather-related supply chain disruptions. And a couple of interesting notes that I want to focus on here. I loved to see this technology because it really embodies the idea of physical risk mitigation. Supply chain disruptions are obviously one of the biggest financially material risks to the retail sector, both climate related and otherwise, right? Retail sector's primary job is to move products to sell merchandise, and that requires reliable, steady performing supply chains to actually create and distribute those products. Now, within the context of TCFD, this is what short-term physical risk is all about, right? TCFD asks companies to think about financially material climate-related risks and opportunities on short, medium, and long-term time horizons. And it asks companies to do that for both physical risk, mostly extreme weather events, the physical impact of climate change, and transitional risks, things like changes in consumer behavior or preferences, regulatory changes, finance or price volatility, economic considerations. And so increased natural disasters and extreme weather events disrupt supply chains physically, right? Materials become unavailable, production slows, or even halts. You can see industry-wide shortages occur. And now that's especially the case when you have geographically concentrated and non-diversified supply chains. So how do we mitigate this risk, right? First step, of course, diversify your supply chain. That could be by vendor, by geography, or even alternative materials. Then you want to build resilience into those supply chain operations and minimize the damage when the events do occur. And then, as I saw as a lot on the expo floor, you actually want to employ tools, right, that are monitoring the weather events. You maintain contingency plans to minimize disruptions when those events do occur. And that's what TCFD is all about. It is about building resilience and strategy and value creation. Um, so that was to me a really poignant one because again, this conference isn't focused at sustainability folks. There actually wasn't even a lot of branding around sustainability in these solutions. Certainly their acronym, I should say, TCFD was never mentioned. This conference isn't really geared towards sustainability practitioners. It's across
executives, managers, procurement, logistics, all in the retail sector. And I thought it was a really amazing example of how TCFD can be seen in its practical application of when you actually are looking for the right tools and technology for your business. So that was really cool. I will also add that we were really honored to cap off the conference with our Australian partner, Nora, the National Online Retailer Association, for their executive member dinner, where the conversation continued with a lot of similar themes on technology, the role of AI, when it's valuable, where it hasn't quite found its footing yet, and then, of course, engaging with suppliers to decarbonize across the value chain. Across the conference, I would say the conversation was energetic, it was engaged, and we will absolutely be on site next year. So that's it for the week. Thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next time for another week in sustainability. Sustain.Life is the leading and most comprehensive sustainability software on the market. To learn how we can help your company measure its emissions and take climate action, go to Sustain.Life. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this show on our YouTube channel or your favorite podcast platform. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.